Okay, in this one, they have already done part of the problem for us. They moved the 36 already over to the right side of the equal sign. What it probably looked like, what it would have looked like if they wouldn't have done that, would have been like this. It would have looked like this. But since they moved the 36 over here, it looks like this, okay? So they did that part for us. They did that part for us, which is a good thing. Okay, so what we do here is we grab half of the 5, which is 5 over 2, right? That's half of 5. Then we square both of them. We square the 5, we square the 2. What we get is 25 over 4. Okay? That's our third term. So we have x squared minus 5x plus 25 over 4. And what we add to one side, we have to add to the other, so we're going to add it to this side, 25 over 4. Okay? So now we know this is the easy part. We just factor the x squared, which is x. We find the square root of x squared, which is x, and the square root of 25 over 4, which is 5 and 2. Because the square root of 25 is 5 and the square root of 4 is 2. Since the middle term is negative, we're going to make this negative. Put a little square up here, our exponent of 2. And then we get, we got to add 36. Whoops, I forgot to put the 36. Okay. Now to be able to do that, we've got to make 36 and 4. We have to find the common denominator. To be able to add these fractions, we have to find the common denominator. The common denominator to find here is easy because 1 is a factor of 4, so we know that the common denominator is 4. So what we do is we multiply the denominator here by 4 and the numerator by 4, and that's going to give us 25 over 4 plus, if you plug 36 times 4 into your calculator, what you're going to get is 144 over 4. And then when you're adding fractions, you never add the denominator, you only add the numerators, okay? So that's going to give us 169 over 4. So that's our answer, 169 over 4. So then we square both of these, right? And what we get is x minus 5 over 2 equals, the square root of 169 is 13, plus or minus 13, and the square root of 4 is 2. Okay? I hope you're following me. Don't get lost. Okay, so now we're going to solve for x, first using the positive 13 over 2, and then using the negative 13 over 2. So wrong. X minus 5 over 2 plus, equals a positive 13 over 2. I'm going to move the 5 over 2 over here to the right of the equal sign. I do that by adding 5 over 2 to both sides. Get x equals 13 plus 5 is 18 over 2. X equals 9, because 18 divided by 2 is 9. So that's my first answer. Now I'm going to do the negative 13 over 2. So x minus 5 over 2 equals a negative 13 over 2. We're going to add 5 over 2 to both sides. And what we get is x equals 13. See, since the signs are different, you subtract, okay? So 13 minus 5 is 8. It's a negative 8 because the bigger number is negative, so your answer is negative. Negative 8 over 2. What that gives us is a negative 4. That's our answer. Actually, those are our answers. It's plural, because there's 2 of them. Okay, they did part of the problem for us here, but they actually added they wrote a variable, a coefficient. They gave it x squared a coefficient, and that coefficient that they gave it is 2. So we got to get rid of that 2, because to solve by completing the square and then factoring, you can't have a coefficient for x squared. So the way we get rid of that coefficient is by dividing by 2, dividing everything by 2. So this cancels out, and what I'm left with is x squared minus 7x over 2 equals 2. Okay. Now I'm going to have to half 7x over 2 and then square it. Well, since it's a fraction, I'm going to multiply it. 7x over 2 Well, and remember, we just do the number parts times 1 over 2. That's that's how I get half of 7 over 2. Another quick way, let me just show you a quick way. A quick way of getting half of a fraction is just multiplying the denominator by 2. So half of 7 over 2 is 7 over 4. Then you square that, and that equals 49 over 16. Because the square of 7 is 49, the square of 4 is 16. So our third term is 49 over 16, right? We're going to have to add that to both sides. Okay. So now I'm going to factor the x squared minus 7x over 2 plus 49 over 16. And since the middle term is negative, I know this is going to be negative. The square root of 49 and the square root of 16 is 7. The square root of 49 is 7. The square root of 16 is 4 squared. Equals, now we're going to add the 49 and the 16. Again, we've got to find a common denominator, which is going to be 16. And since I multiply the denominator by 16, I've got to multiply the numerator by 16. What I get is 49 over 16 plus 32 over 16. And when you're combining fractions, remember you don't do nothing to the denominators. They stay the same. You only add the numerators. And this is going to give us 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 81. 81 over 16. That's my answer here. So I'm going to write 81 over 16. Then I square root both of them, right? I get x minus 7 over 4 equals positive or negative. Then the square root of 81 is 9, and the square root of 16 is 4. Positive or negative 4. Okay, I'm going to erase some of this. Hold on a second. Okay, first I'm going to solve for x using the positive 9 over 4. So x minus 7 over 4 equals a positive 9 over 4. I'm going to add 7 over 4 to both sides. And that's going to give me x equals 9 plus 7 is 16 over 4. X equals 4 goes into 16 4 times. So x equals 4. Now I'm going to do a negative 9 over 4. So x minus 7 over 4 minus a 9 equals a negative 9 over 4. X equals a negative 9 over 4 plus 7 over 4. And x equals negative 2 over 4. X equals negative 1. Oops. When you reduce, the 2 over 4 can be reduced because 2 and 4 are common factors. So you divide the 2 by 2, and that gives you negative 1. You divide the 4 by 2, and that gives you just 2. And our two answers are x equals 4 and x equals 1, negative 1 over 2. All right, I've got 2 more to go, and I've got a minute and a half to do it. So now I'm just going to do them by steps. I'm not going to talk. So just look at the screen, and hopefully if you have any questions, maybe you could ask me in class, okay? Okay, here it's 1x, so we're going to have to find half of 1 and then square it. And let's see, x squared. Half of 1 is 1/2, and 1/2 squared is 1 over 4. Okay.